Hi there, Daniel here. Just to let you know that the following video is sponsored by Kingdom Park Homes. Enjoy.
Daniel, it's a pleasure to have you back in Lincolnshire
Oh,
again.
thank you, Emily. Nice to see you, and it is nice to be back.
And I know it's like last time it was Grimsby and Cleethorpes, and now we're in Skegness. And you know what? It's really lovely because the messages I'm getting from the Lincolnshire people is we love it when Daniel comes to visit us.
Yeah, we used to come to Lincoln itself, to the Ritz many years ago, and then they changed the size of it. They made three cinemas or something of it. So it really is nice. I mean, this is. I don't think I was ever in this theatre. I was here once in Skegness, but I think it was to do with Butlins. And it was like an older theatre. Maybe it was at Butlins. I don't know. But this is lovely. We're delighted to be here.
Well, I know a lot of the fans. They've been on our Facebook and that, and can I just say a massive thank you to you all. We love you. We know that you're massive Daniel fans, and we so appreciate the time that you take to write messages and comments. And they all wish you well. They
Thank
all
you very
wish you
much.
well.
Well, thank you very much. It's always nice to get the messages.
And you know, the fans in particular, they're just one of their own, aren't they? Because they just seem to embrace everything you do. And I know that all of them are super excited at a new album coming up.
That's right, yeah. They're very, very supportive, I suppose. What you tend to reminisce, when we've been travelling so long, doing shows. We started doing concerts in 1987.
Wow.
And that's 32 years. It's been, since I started with my sister Margaret and her band, it'll be 39 years in January. So you kind of look back, and every night, when I get on the stage, I see familiar faces and so many people I have known for so long. And they are so supportive, be it of the shows or, as you say, the albums. When the album comes out, they're out there, first thing to get it. Now, this album is a collection.
Yes, I noticed there's a real rock and roll vibe
Yeah,
going.
a collection of 60. Well, there's 60 songs, and there's a few selections as well that are taken from the Blue Jeans tour that we did, a Cliff tribute, Beatles, Elvis, and I think on the Under the Moon of Love thing that we did in that show was in it too. And years ago, I suppose, most of these songs would have been recorded down through the years on various albums, but a lot of the albums were discontinued, and that we have a lot of new people,
That's it.
first timers coming to the shows, and they're kind of searching for these older albums. So the record company decided they would put together collections so that they wouldn't be that expensive, to buy
Yes.
all of them, and they are good value. I mean, years ago, I suppose I wouldn't have agreed with these sort of not greatest hits, but compilations.
Compilations, yeah.
But now I think it's a good idea for people to acquire albums. Like they just did the first 10 CDs that we recorded.
Yep.
And they were, you just could, I mean, I don't even have all of them. So it was nice to get that package. And this is a good idea too, so hopefully people will enjoy it.
There's some really good tracks on there. And there's even some live, I believe.
Yeah, well, that's the collections or the tribute songs. They're all live. And then, I mean, it's called Halfway to Paradise. It's got Halfway to Paradise. It's got all 50s and 60s.
Is the
songs.
Amarillo one on there, so
Amarillo
we
is
can
there.
start
Here we
dancing
go.
away? Yeah,
Here we
I
go,
can
yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
Because they love that in the
Ah,
show,
it's great,
don't they?
yeah.
I mean, it's so funny when you actually, you watch the fans and you watch them engage with you and you see them and they're in their seats and they're
I know.
moving.
Yeah, they're going with it. Yeah, it's terrific.
But you've also had a really, really busy year. And one of your highlights must have been singing for the Pope.
Absolutely, it was a great thrill, a great honour, to get the opportunity. I mean, when Pope John Paul came to Ireland, John Paul II came to Ireland in '79, that's, that was just celebrated. Now I seen it on television at home. It was just around this time. He came the end of September, and I was in Galway at the youth mass, and if somebody had told me then that, and so many years later, I would sing, in the presence of another pope who would visit Ireland, it's hard to hard to believe it, but it was a great privilege. And then that was on the evening, the Sunday morning. Then I got to sing again before the actual mass in the Phoenix Park. So it was a great privilege.
I was watching you actually. I think it was on Sky, and I was actually beaming with
Yeah.
pride for you.
Yeah, it was
I was like,
great.
"Oh, there's my Daniel."
It was great, thank God.
And was you nervous at all? Did
Yes,
you get
I
real
was
nervous?
thinking, what if I could forget the words, and I'm sure the Pope, because he's not an English speaker. He probably has a little bit of English, but I think Spanish primarily, probably Italian as well. But Spanish obviously is his first language.
I saw a
So he
movement or
was,
two there.
yeah, but I'm sure he sat there all evening, and he does it in every country he goes to, and it's difficult when you're not in the language. But no, it was great, and the audience again, the people gathered, the atmosphere was super.
And this year, coming up in 2020, would it be fair to say that you are probably going to be doing less of the touring and
Yes.
more back in the recording studio?
Well, what I decided for the next few years, I would take a bit more time off. I've been talking about this for ages and ages, and I think people were saying, you keep talking about this, it doesn't seem to be happening. But it's only myself who can make the decision. And, we when Magella was ill and that, we took time off after it. But you never know what the future brings. We have grandchildren, we want to do better
Yes.
things with them. And, I still enjoy the singing, but next year I'm only going to do the Irish cruise in February for Gertrude Byrne. That's out to Mexico from California.
Wow.
And then I start again in August, going to New Zealand, Australia. And then in September we'll do, and September we'll be there. At the end of September we'll do Ireland. We'll be back here in October, then Branson in November, and we do Christmas shows in Dublin in December. So it is a lot less, but still there'll be about
Still busy.
50-something shows. It's just they're more concentrated.
Will this also give you time to do some more like recording of songs?
Yes,
and
probably we'll
produce
record some things. And they wanted us to do another road show, and we had kind of committed to it, and then it was going to take 5 or 6 weeks, and we thought, why are we taking the time off if we're going to fill it with other things? So we decided we wouldn't do any television other than the Opry shows that I do for the TG Cahar, or TG4 as you would see it written. Cahar is the Irish for 4.
Right.
We call it TG Cahar. And that'll be done at some point during June, July time.
Because yours and Magella's road trips have been a sensational hit. They've also had me in fits of laughter.
Yeah, they've been very well received at home. We would love them to be aired other places, but I suppose they do translate very well for an Irish audience. The humour is very...
But that's the good thing about social media, because
you
we
get to see bits and pieces
we
of
get
it.
to see bits of it.
Yeah.
And I think that is almost like, it shows another side, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I suppose it's not a very structured show. There's no big direction in it, it's just, we're kind of let loose. And I suppose it's reality TV. I remember I didn't think in it as that. I thought we were doing a travel show, going around showing Ireland in the beginning. We, of course, did America last year. But it was just around the time I was going on Strictly, and somebody said to me, "Oh, you're going to do reality TV." And I was sworn to secrecy about Strictly. And I thought somebody had kind of said something. And I said, "What?" And they said, "Yeah, you're going to, going to travel around Ireland." "Oh, yeah, that's a travel show." And I was so relieved that Strictly wasn't exposed, the idea of being on Strictly. But I suppose it is reality TV. It's just the two of us meeting people.
It's wonderful. I can even see it maybe going, I don't know, to other places around the world.
Well, you never know. We'll see. Yeah, it'd be nice, I suppose. We never thought about going to America, and that's, I think, what they wanted to do next year, to go to another part of the States. But I suppose it's endless what you can do. It's the B&B road trip was quite very Irish, and we're meeting Irish people. The American was a bit different, but still it seemed to.
The B&B ones
yeah.
always made me laugh because, of course, you saw the people and they're going, "It's
I
Daniel!
know.
It's Daniel!" And behind the curtains, did you and Michelle see any
We
curtains
didn't realise,
going
especially the first lady Anne, who was the very first person we went to. She went, what do they call it? Internet viral on the
Yeah, she
internet.
did.
The fact of waiting to see us, and we didn't know that was being said
No.
behind the scenes. He's here, he's here, he's here, and I the first thing I said without realizing, I said, "We're here." It's so strange.
It was just beautifully done, beautifully produced,
Yeah.
and I think it's one of them lovely things. Actually, it's reality TV at its best.
I know, yeah.
It's not.
And we met great characters. Everybody contributed, and it was the same in America. You meet people, and they kind of bring the show in a way that you don't know it's going to go.
Well, Daniel, I know that now you're going to have to set up for this wonderful show in Skegness. And I know you didn't take me up on the offer of the donkey ride in Cleethorpes, but do you think this time I could actually entice you to Ingermall's on the Big Dipper?
Wouldn't that be something? I'd need to bring a bucket with me, I think.
Me too. Daniel, thank you very much.
Lovely. Thank you. Always good to see you.
And you too.
God bless. Thank you.